3 years ago, Mrs. Kunene moved from her Glenwood house, which had become the Mazisi Kunene Museum. Looking for a new home which echoed the welcoming feel of old estates in England, her instincts led her to this classic century-old house.
Hello!
It immediately felt like a sanctuary.
Well, welcome to our home.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love the fact that I can tell you've brought the exterior sort of colonial feel into the interior, yet you've got personal touches here and there, am I right?
Yes, absolutely. Having traveled all over the world for such a long time, you have all kinds of fantasies that one day when I settle down, this is what I want to do. And coming back to South Africa and finding a colonial home like this, it was a bit of a challenge. What to put in, what to do, at what place. And I think the most important thing is to make it always your home. In the battle to create your own home, you have to bring real issues in. This is Dumile Feni. Was a very close friend of my husband. He was an exile. He was an incredible artist. His work had been exhibited in the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art. He was big. And then my husband commissioned him to direct a piece on an elegy, which is a long poem of weeping and sorrow. In isiZulu, it's called Isililo, because a friend of his was Chinese, had gone back to China and was never heard of.
The artwork and words combine to give these prints a gravity that draws you in. This is balanced by Mathabo having fresh flowers cut from her own garden all year round. Always popular at her parties.
Well, let's go into the dining room.
The tone of this room is set in part by the furniture, but mostly by the photographs.
Sometimes those stories of poverty today seem to define who we are as Africans, but it's not true. You can see my parents. The way I look at my mother's style, I think this is in the 30s. I wish I could pick up some of that from her. But this is what life was like. They knew the challenge was there, and they lived and worked harder to attain what they wanted to do for their children, for themselves.
This table arrangement makes for good conversation and shows what a global citizen Mathabo Kunene is.
I'm an auction fundi. I go to auctions and I outbid everyone when I want to. With my paddle, if I wanted. These are two Chinese teapots. You can see by their size, they are for big ceremonies, because the Chinese people are small cups and everything. Here in the center, I have a piece by the world-famous ceramist from KwaZulu-Natal, Nesta Nala. Her pieces now are in the Smithsonian in the US. Amazing woman.
As well as being her own place in the sun, Mathabo welcomes local housekeepers to meet her. It's part of her ongoing dedication to breaking down barriers.
This was our wedding in London. It was a very small wedding. None of our family members were there, but there were a lot of exiled South Africans who lived in London who were bussed into this quiet little village in a bus singing Zulu songs. It was an amazing wedding, an amazing culmination of the long period of aloneness for a lot of our young men who lived in exile. This was before I left South Africa. This was David Goldblatt's work. He's a famous South African photographer. And these were photographed by Jürgen Schadderbeck. He's the one who shot Mandela and Robert Allen.
The classic Berea style of high ceilings with chandeliers in every room is one which Mathabo opens up to learners from rural areas, busing them in to be inspired, to think and dream big.
Your house is filled with memories. What other purpose did you have for it when you bought it?
This was, to me, the place to be when you can entertain family, you can have friends come in. Oh, but look, are you still here? Look, I thought you were going to get your flight.
You didn't tell me to leave, not yet.
Oh,
I should have known.
Not before lunch, not before lunch.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if lunch is ready.
But you know
Darling,
what? I should have known that you kept fabulous friends like Miss Yvonne Chaka Chaka. I mean, the two of you together are like the most fabulous BFFs I think I've ever seen.
Well, this is not even a friend. She's my sister.
Yeah.
She's my sister. Well, this is my room when I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Because I
Has a
can...
name here, you can't do anything.
This
about
has
it.
my name here.
Sometimes she calls from the airport. Mathabo, I'm coming, have you cooked?
Well, if I don't want to sleep alone, I squat in her room, just like she does to me.
Yes,
She taught me that.
But who wouldn't want to? I mean, look at this. This is a suite. This isn't just a room. I think that I need to become a BFF as well, so that, you know, you and I can have fabulous
All right,
sleepovers.
doctor. All right,
Is that
doctor.
okay?
Work on that.
No, I'm
We have to
stealing
work
it.
on that.
I'm
There has to be
stealing
a purpose to the whole thing.
Mathabo is just so modest. Did she tell you she's building a whole school in Mazisi's village? She says, Yvonne, I had absolutely nothing. And now that I have, I just need to share. How many people are doing that? She is just an amazing woman.
Everybody must know they have a chance. I bring a lot of college graduates here, and I said to them, they said, oh, what a beautiful, I said, I'm just showing you the possibilities of being free and also staying in school. There's no other barrier except the one you set for yourself.
Mathabo often sits in her garden, watching visiting school children and enjoying the afternoon quiet, when she can take a moment to think up genius new dishes.
Where did your love affair with food start?
Well, it started with my mother. She was a culinary arts teacher, and we always had very disciplined food structures. So we were raised that way. And when we were in exile, it worked very well for me because we were broke, we didn't have money. I sold food on the streets in Los Angeles, and I bluffed my way to Beverly Hills by saying I was a chef.
And of course, you've cooked for some of the most influential people in the world.
That's my pride. Because somebody discovered me in Los Angeles when there was going to be a fundraising at Michael Jackson's home with Bishop Tutu. It was a big, big fundraising. And all the stars in Hollywood came out, and Whoopi Goldberg was the auctioneer. They auctioned over $1.5 million for the South African, and I was the chef.
She was also the head chef at the wedding of Nelson Mandela to Graça Machel. It's African fusion cooking, served with an extraordinary story.
And how do you think your late husband would feel about the home that you have established for your family?
If you have the opportunity to read his work, you'll understand he was a deeply spiritual person. We feel the presence here all the time, and that's why we can thrive. That's why we're open to people coming here and enjoying it, not as an exclusive little place, but it continues the legacy of his generosity. People who lived with him in London know that the place of refuge was 185A Gloucester Place, which was Mazisi's place. When you lived in Los Angeles, the first heat of the students who came out of 1975, it was at 3846 Chanson Drive. There was never not enough room for anyone. So this place has given us just more opportunity, and that's why I love it so much.
After 21 years in exile, Mathabo has arrived at her destination. Here she finds peace in the company of the youngest Kunenes and the love of the people in her community.